Hey, I'm David.
I'm Morgan.
Welcome to the Seriously Show,
where we just talk about life, relationships, what's bugging us about each other,
and trying to figure out how to live in America.
In this week's episode, David has a very large purchase that he has some explaining to do.
We also talk about the Traitors. We talk about Love is Blind.
And how we unfortunately spent our Valentine's Day.
Whoopsie.
I hate this song. I don't know, it's been just ringing in my head, and I was really hoping that you weren't going to play it. I hate it. It's in my nightmares at this point. It's so awful.
I don't like it at all either. Episode 4, we're still looking for a track.
I don't think we need a track.
I don't agree with you.
Because I know one of the biggest podcasts out there in the female demographic, which is what our demographic is. 5 years, successful podcast. Everybody knows them. Never had a song until this, 2 weeks ago. And they let their listeners make a song for them. They said, hey, you should make a song for our podcast. And it became a whole contest with their listeners on whose song would end up being their theme song. But they went years without a song.
Well, let us know.
We're too early to have anybody making us a song. We just need people to listen to the podcast.
I agree with that, but I think the earlier you have the song, the more embedded in the brand it becomes part of the show.
Yeah, but what does that mean?
You're really challenging me here.
Well, it's a process, we're in a Shark Tank situation right now. We're trying to get to the root of it.
Fine, we'll let the song find us.
Yeah. We have a breaking news announcement. You are not going to believe what has transpired in the Preston household since we last spoke to you. You're not going to believe it. Dave, would you like to take the wheel? No pun intended.
I will take the wheel. So you may remember us talking about me trying to convince Morgan about getting a Tesla.
Mm-hmm, yes. But we also talked about the fact that not only has David pitched to me before wanting a Tesla, but he really wants this old beater pickup truck. For whatever reason, I don't really know, because I don't see you as a truck kind of guy.
Beater's a bit offensive to me.
Is it? That's just what it is, an old dumpy pickup truck, a beater.
Old truck, cool. Dumpy, nah, not so much. Should we roll the tape?
Roll the tape.
This is a clip from last episode.
Home, buying our own home. And I don't think we should be making any $13,000 purchases until we have our home where we can have our own little podcast studio.
You know what? I think you're right. And what's yours is mine this week. You win. You know what? I think you're right.
Go ahead and tell them what you did, Dave.
It's funny that you mentioned that figure, Azel, because we're right about in that ballpark.
No, you bought a $13,000 1990 Ford Ranger.
It's not in the 90s. It's a 2010.
Okay.
Which is still crazy because that's 15 years old today, which is wild to think. It had 79,000 miles on it. I had been looking for months and months and months. We'll put up a picture if you're watching this on video of the truck. I absolutely adore it. And look, I just figured if there was a time to do it in my life, it's now. Because other responsibilities may enter into our life in the coming years.
But it's so interesting how you can change your perception of a situation based on what you really want in that moment. Because I could tell that you wanted the Tesla, but like we discussed, you really wanted it because it was on sale. So I was very easily able to talk you off that ledge. Well, when you saw this 2010 Ford Ranger, there was nothing I could say. The decision was already made. It was already done. So I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to support him in following his dreams and having the truck and having Harley in the passenger seat and listening to Billy Strings on the highway. Who am I to get in the way of you living your best life?
I appreciate that. And every single time I've gotten that vehicle, it has brought me so much joy.
You do have to give me some credit. I did not put up a fight at all.
You didn't. And you were like, the money's not coming out of... it's what's yours is mine. So it is. But
and wouldn't you know, it was $13,000 on the money. It was actually a little bit more than that.
But you know what? they are highly desirable vehicles because they stopped making them the following year, 2011. So every single year, there's less and less of them
You
on the
hear
road.
that? You hear that?
Every single year, there's less and less of them on the road.
Yep.
Which means as my mileage goes up, so does the value. So it's kind of like the mileage is decreasing.
You see how you can talk yourself into literally anything?
All I'm saying is I could drive that car for another 100,000 miles and sell it for around the 10 grand mark. But I plan to keep it until
the wheels fall off.
Pretty much.
I'm glad you have had
callback.
A good week because I've had a terrible week.
Yeah, tell me about you made a little visit to the allergist.
I don't know if I've ever been more upset in my whole entire life, truly, than when I went to this allergist this past week. First of all, they gave me 50 pricks in my forearms, okay? 50. Well, that came back inconclusive. So they had to give me 13 more big shots, big boys in my upper arm to find out what I was allergic to. You can still see some of the little bumps, can't you?
I see them.
Because I have been I mean, how miserable have I been for the past 6 months?
I felt pretty bad for you, and we wondered if it was this house, but you did have this in the apartment as well that we lived in.
We did a little mold test. We have a little mold farm in our cabinet over there.
Yeah, a little Amazon at-home mold test.
And we were like, okay, well, we don't really have mold, so I had to figure out, what am I allergic to? All this postnasal drip is going to send me into an absolute tizzy. Well, I went to the doctor, and one of my biggest, I was going to say complaints, but I don't want to say the word complaint. One of my biggest asks of Dave in our marriage is that he stops mumbling, because he mumbles a lot. I can never understand what he's saying. So I go to this allergist, and he puts Dave to shame. I mean, this guy sounds like if Elvis Presley didn't have any teeth, like that. Not only that, he didn't close the door behind him. So all of the nurses are like running around, they're yelling, they're like
so odd.
So there's like all of this chaos in the back, and he's like, and I'm like, I don't know what I'm allergic to. Well, they gave me back the paper, and I'm allergic to my most prized possession in the whole entire world, my dog, Harley.
Harley Daniels. Speaking of Harley Daniels,
and he's not here right now.
No producer Harley today.
Because I'm having to deep clean the house. I'm washing every pillow, every blanket, sweeping this place left and right. And I don't know what I'm going to do. He's like, don't worry, you don't have to get rid of the dog. You can't have him in your bedroom anymore. I'm like, what do you mean I can't have him in my bedroom anymore? That's my favorite part of the day. My two favorite parts of the day. Well, I have three favorite parts of the day. My first favorite part of the day is when I wake up in the morning and Harley's already awake and he comes and jumps on the bed and he's so excited that I have finally woken up. My second favorite part of the day is when Dave gets off work and we get to hang out, we get to eat dinner, and we get to watch TV shows together. My third favorite part of the day is going to bed, getting Harley, making sure that he comes up on the bed with me, and trying to finagle him in between me and Dave when he wants to, but he's not a very cuddly dog, so it doesn't happen very often. So you're telling me that I have to give up 2 out of 3 of the favorite parts of my day?
That's pretty rough. And you know my opinion of this, I've already told you, but I'm not convinced that it's the biggest problem, because you've had dogs most of your life. And my experience with pet allergies is way more severe. It's like itchy eyes, hives, all that kind of stuff.
I know, but not every allergy reacts to, not every person has the same reaction to an allergy. You can hear it in my voice, and like you can hear all this sinus pressure in my nose. And I've had this since September. The only time that it's gone away was when we went on our honeymoon in the Dominican Republic.
Yeah, but the temperature changed from like minus 300
and
to
we
50.
weren't in it. We weren't with my dog. I'm also allergic to dust mites. It came up dog, dust mites, ragweed, which is a summer allergy, and maple trees. So you're telling me I can never enjoy a maple tree in my life ever again?
Name one maple tree in this area.
I don't know. Well, now that I know.
Have you ever hung out by a maple tree?
I mean, maybe we have them
Honey,
in our backyard.
we're going to go check out the maple trees today.
Maybe we have them in our backyard and I just never even knew. I'm just truly heartbroken. I'm truly heartbroken because I want to feel better so badly. I mean, there's like nothing more than I want than to stop sounding like this because I work and I speak all day, every day, and it really is taking a toll on me. And if you're telling me my dog is the problem, I'm shattered. I'm destroyed. I'm distraught.
Yeah, I do feel really sorry for you because I can hear you from my office when you're working and you're making, if you're recording your podcast or Patreon or whatever it is, I can hear how many cough breaks you have to take.
It's
and it
so annoying.
breaks my heart for you. So I'm really sorry that you're going through that and we're going to get to the bottom of it.
So I don't know what we're going to do. I think they said like allergy shots, which I've never gotten an allergy shot before, but I'm scared.
We'll have to give it a shot. It's difficult for me to understand because I'm allergic to horses of all things. And my sister used to be a champion horse rider way back in the day. And anytime she came home with her saddle, my face would puff up, I would sneeze, my eyes would go red, all that kind of stuff. So that's my perception of an allergy.
Right.
I just feel like your symptoms would subside the second you leave the house and you're away from Harley. But they don't. I know they get worse, they get better and worse sometimes, but
I don't know. Somebody else sent me a DM and this truly just sent me into a spiral as well because they were like, yeah, you know, I had the same thing happen to me. This allergy came out of nowhere. They told me it was my dog. Well, long story short, I had a different allergy that was the main root of all these other allergic reactions I was having. And I don't even want to say what it was because, again, if I have to give this up, like, what's the point in living? Dairy.
Did I not say that to you?
If I have to give up dairy, I'd rather just not be here anymore.
Yeah,
like,
that's rough.
I have cheese for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Just remove it from one of those situations.
What can you even eat without dairy in it?
Yeah, it's tough.
We have
There's
burgers,
a lot of people that struggle with that.
We have tacos.
But that's where I think it's
spaghetti.
okay. A slice of cheese on a burger, if you're not lactose intolerant, that's cool.
Well,
but
that's what I eat.
Don't have what they call the blocks of cheese.
I haven't had that in a very long time. My charcuterie lunch. I mean, I would always get like the little crackers and the pepperoni with the little cheese cube. I haven't got that in a long time.
I know. I'm sorry, honey. We're going to have to try something. Shall we move on to some of these very fascinating TV topics that we've had this week?
Yeah, let's do a little TV talk. You know, it was just a matter of time before I brought you into my world of reality TV and pop culture, which, of course, this is a show about us and our lives and our relationship, but my life revolves around reality TV. And I've really got you hooked into one, totally against another. So which one do you want to start with?
I think we should start with the Netflix Love is Blind.
David has a hot Love is Blind take.
I strongly dislike, I'm trying not to use the word hate, Love is Blind. And I will tell you why. I do not think that Love is Blind.
Well, no, duh.
What do you mean, duh? The show is called Love is Blind. And you've got Nick Lachey walking in there every episode going, well, we'll find out between you two if love is truly blind.
Will they get engaged? Sight unseen.
Oh, it drives me crazy. Look, I just think love is, it's not just about sight either. You need to be able to, the way somebody smiles at you, the way that they touch you, the way that their energy around you. And I just don't think it's healthy because they all go through this whole situation in the pods and then they come out and they see the person. A lot of people are like stoked. And then after that, they start to feel things that are different when they're like in front of each other. And I just don't think it's healthy for them to go all the way to the altar and make the decision there.
Well, no, duh. I mean, no reality TV show is healthy. But you think Love is Blind is like the most psychologically, I mean, immoral, if you want to use the word?
Yeah, because you're talking about a life partner, marriage.
Yeah.
It's very, very intense.
Okay, but don't you think that The Bachelor is worse? Because when you're in
I have opinions about that
when
too.
you're in the pods, all you have is to talk for hours and hours, days, right? You have no distractions, no social media, no cell phones, no outside opinions, no friends, no family. So you're really getting to actually know who this person is, their heart, their mind, their soul, right? On The Bachelor, you have the absolute opposite equation. You get one-on-one date. You then bring this guy home to meet your family. He asks for your dad's permission to propose to you. And then the day of proposal, you have to break up with someone, be heartbroken over it, because a lot of times the lead is actually in love with both people. Break up with someone, it's probably destroying them on the inside. And then like a light switch, turn around, have the other person come out, propose, and act like it's the happiest day of your life and that you're not actually thinking about the person you just sent home.
I'm not saying Bachelor is perfect at all, because I also don't, the idea of that many people on one side falling for one person.
Oh yeah,
on the
it
other
never
side.
happens.
It's just, it's
infatuation.
Wild.
There's 100%. A little bit of
100%.
competitiveness to it. Like you want to be the one to win the guy.
But that's why I struggle to use the word hate with Love is Blind, because I think a lot of the people on the show find out things about themselves, about getting to know somebody on like a different kind of level, and their eyes become open to that, which is ironic. But I guess their mind becomes open to a different way to get to know somebody other than the looks, right? But I just think the whole concept is just too much psychologically
damaging.
Look
at him. He's nervous.
I just know how much people love that show. And there's moments where I walk past the TV, I see a conversation happening between two couples, I'm like naked in my towel, and I'll stand there and watch it for 5 minutes because it does hook you in. I'm not debating that at all. But yeah, I just think it's just funny to me that the show is called Love is Blind when...
Yeah, we have proved a long time ago that love is not blind.
They should change the name of the show.
What should the name be? Love is not blind. Do you hate Love Island? Because we love Love Island.
Yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong. But do you think
I don't even know why I had to think about that.
Do you think that it's worse though? Like going through Love is Blind and getting married at the end. Do you think that's worse? Or do you think it's worse to live in a villa, have your couple then separated and then put with other women and other men where there's mostly nefarious things going on?
Easy choice. Love is Blind is because there's no pressure to be married.
It's the marriage part that really does it for you.
It's not just the marriage part, but it's the proposal in the pods.
Yeah.
And I think if they changed the show, it wouldn't be as good TV. So I understand why they don't do it.
Yeah.
But why does the pod ending have to be proposal? Why can't it be, I choose you to go on to this dating phase together?
That doesn't make for good TV.
No, but they can still have the marriage thing at the end, but then decide about the proposal in the dating phase.
Well, I feel like some people kind of...
They just fake it. They propose and then they break up.
And they're like, yeah, or even if they do propose, like there are Bachelor contestants who got engaged on the show who will then do another proposal, just the two of them. They'll do a people exclusive about it. So I don't really know if it's actually just the two of them because they're still getting the paycheck. But they'll do something like behind closed doors that means more to them than getting engaged on the show.
I got it off my chest.
Yeah, we're getting ready.
Maybe get some love, maybe get some hate for that, but that's just the way I feel about it.
Hey, I like it. We
Nothing
have to
wrong with watching the show. If
rile the people up.
Vibe.
It's all about conversation and debate. Okay, let's move on to one that's more fun. The Traitors.
This deserves something.
What was it all?
I don't want trombone. I want that. The Traitors.
We could have done without all the sound bites. Conclusion?
No, the hot debate with the Traitors is the prize pots.
Yeah, that is. But also Danielle.
Yeah, that's true. For $200, I want you to stick your face in a cage of bugs. And nobody cares. Everyone's like, I ain't doing this for the money, brother.
So what do you want to argue first? Do you want to talk about the prize pot?
Yeah, I mean...
You guys know the Traitors wrapped up last week, and we have our winners. Gabby, Iva.
Everybody else says Ivor.
Dolores, and Dylan Ephraim. Okay, they won $204,000. So between the four of them, 50 grand without taxes, with taxes...
They walked home with probably about $28,000 each.
Surely
depending on what state they live in.
Surely they cannot be that stoked about that.
They have to get a salary in the six figures for sure from that show.
Okay, but I've heard, I don't know if this is true, but I've heard that they get paid while they're out there. So
Sure.
like they get,
100%.
So do you think that they shouldn't get paid while they're out there and it should just, I mean, I don't think you can do that, right?
I think the wholesomeness of all four of them winning together actually was better for them as a group than what they were going to get out of it financially. So they decided to just stick with that.
Yeah.
As a story, as a moment, as a feeling, as a group, as having each other's backs. They were like...
Well, it also is a fundamental flaw in the game, though, because people will do different things for money. I mean, the whole reason why Survivor has been on for 48 seasons, getting ready to have their 50th season next year, is because people will do a lot of things to win $1 million, especially like your average Joes, right? I mean, I feel like probably the richest people on a season of Survivor is like a surgeon or something, in that
lawyer or
something like that. But it's never Chriselle Staus, who sells multi-million-dollar homes. Do you think she doesn't care about $250,000? Absolutely not.
Yeah, she's had commission checks bigger than that.
And that's why, maybe I'm just using her as an example, but it can apply to a lot of them. But that's why, like, we didn't get any of these big strategic jaw-dropping moves from people like Chriselle because there's no incentive for her to do that. It's like you have this internal battle with yourself when you're on these shows. Like, can I vote out my best friend from Survivor? Like, I'm having all of these feelings about it. And then you remember, I'm doing it for $1 million. Bye, Paige. Instantly. They don't have that on the Traitors.
But I've thought about the reverse side of this, and it's the fact that if the prize pot was higher, then the divisible amount would be still enough for them to want to be okay winning
with a
together.
lot of people winning together.
Right. Like if it was $1 million, they would have been even more incentivized to just split it 4 ways last night.
Yeah.
So it's tough that way, but I just think they say 250 grand at the beginning of the season, and because of the challenges, they only got to 204.
Yeah.
So maybe they should have like a base amount of 250 and then an option to win another 250 throughout the challenges. Something like that. I don't know. That's the way I feel about it. But
I also feel like, the missions, people are like... The missions is when we go to the bathroom, we get our popcorn. You took a shower the other night when we were watching. So, like, people aren't invested in the missions. I feel
last night you got up, as soon as the challenge started, you got up and I was like, oh, it's challenge time.
Yeah, and I literally said, don't pause it because I was going upstairs.
But there was a few challenges that we were really into because they were like bad-mouthing each other and getting strategic.
Well, you're getting information.
Right.
The challenges are good when you're getting information about other people, like the one that Carolyn blew her game up with, right?
Awful, the chess game.
Yeah, like that was an interesting challenge because it's showing cracks in these people's alliances and stuff. So I feel like they just need to lean into that a little bit more.
And what a lot of people have said to you is they should just make the challenges about shields, winning shields, giving
and
shields away,
advantages. Yeah.
So I think that would be a good direction to go. But I mean, all this to say, great show, great season. We've really gotten into it as a show for us to watch.
Mm-hmm.
And
how do you feel about the winners? Ivor, Dolores, Gabby, and Dylan.
I'm stoked. I think
with all four of them.
I think Dolores got carried a little, but part of me thinks you could claim that as a strategy.
Yeah.
I was just making it seem like I didn't know what I was doing so that the Traitors wouldn't murder me. get to the end and I'm the most faithful of faithfuls and let's share the money.
They tried to dupe us in thinking that Dolores was going to throw red in the fire.
I genuinely thought she was going to.
Oh, I wasn't fooled for a second. You know, because of the fact that she voted wrong so many times and because she's, you know, she wears her heart on her sleeve.
Right.
I'm like, she doesn't have it in her.
Yeah.
She doesn't have it in her to do another banishment, I don't think.
Breakout star Dylan Efron.
What a G, Dylan Efron.
Cool dude.
He like nailed everything.
Yeah.
Like there wasn't really, the only thing that he was off on was the fact that Gabby was a traitor. But it was because he was right about Brittany being a traitor.
He was under Rob's spell for a bit. But
I don't blame him at all. If I was Dylan, I would have done exactly that. Because like Rob said in the reunion, he takes his people to the end. And I had this take earlier in the season where if you have an obvious traitor like Rob, why wouldn't you keep him around as a target? People are always going to be trying to vote him out. You could take him all the way to the end, know that he's a traitor, and then banish him right then and there. And he is so like powerful in these types of games and persuasive that he would always have you under his wing. I would be under Boston Rob's wing and I would not leave the nest until I absolutely had to.
I mean, he was there for what, 50% of the season?
Yeah.
And he had the sickest highlight reel.
Yeah, he did. I love all of his roundtable moments where he's like talking to someone, he's talking this way, and he's like not revealing his cards yet on who he's about to vote for. And then he pauses and then he turns. He goes, Bob, the drag queen. Like there's always this long pause. And then he always
that well as well.
He always just like kills them with his look. Were you surprised that Brittany voted for Danielle?
I was a little bit surprised. But then I think you were the one that pointed this out to me. If it wasn't then, it was going to be the next round.
Yeah.
So it's a tough situation to be in. Deep down, I think Brittany was kind of bummed she got recruited because she could have gone all the way as a faithful. And that ultimatum is brutal. You have one choice. You're not going to leave the game and not become a traitor. So I think that was kind of tough for Brittany. But Danielle just played too hard into the acting role for me. Yeah. Made it tough to watch. And there were just other people that I was more invested in.
Well, that's the debate, right? People are like, Danielle is the worst traitor of all time. I don't know if she's the worst traitor of all time.
You can't be if you survive 8 roundtables.
Right. I mean, she got very far. People trusted her. That's the point of being a traitor, is to pull the wool over people's eyes. I think the more accurate description of it is that she was the most irritating traitor because of the acting. Honestly, I was cool with like everything that Danielle did. The only thing that like put me off was the shaking, crying moment on the floor. That was really the only moment that I was like,
step too far.
Yeah, but I did feel that. I'm not going to lie. Like when she's sitting there crying, shaking, I knew it. I was going to say it. It's like, yeah,
some of them.
Yeah, you did know it. You were a traitor with Carolyn. So like, well, I mean, I get it. You have to act. But that was the only part really that I was like, Danielle, you got to be serious. But at the end of the day, it is a strategy, and her strategy took her to the finale.
Dylan made a really great point in the finale about traitors are the only people acting.
Yeah.
And you could tell when Brittany started acting.
True.
But Danielle was acting from the beginning. And it's exhausting.
And they even said
so
off
tiring.
camera she was like that too. Right. So it's like, you got to give her props.
Yeah, I give her props. She made it a long way. Didn't make it all the way. But
we're happy for our winners.
Yeah, I think so.
Gabby.
I think so.
Gabby, I also thought she was a breakout star. I mean, I always knew because I watched her season of The Bachelorette. She's so funny. And you know, every night when we're getting ready for bed and I'm doom scrolling on TikTok, how many Gabby videos do I come across?
They are the best.
It's like
I can't figure out that impersonation. I wish I could do it.
My For You page is full of Gabby Wendy, and I would not have it any other way.
I'm trying to think of something that she would say, but I just can't.
She'd be like, so I went to the allergist and they told me I'm allergic to my dog. Death to the allergist. It's Tuesday morning at 9:00. You want to ruin my life over telling me that I'm allergic to my dog? See you never, Doc.
Doctor, see you never again, Doc.
I don't know.
can't do it. I cannot do it.
Yeah, I don't know if that was different. That was something.
I just like it when Alan Cummings goes at the end of every episode or the beginning of every round table. He goes, "The prize pot is at a staggering $100,240." And everyone's like, "Ooh!" Or they go into a challenge and they're like, "If you complete this challenge, you will win $1,000." And everyone goes, "Woo!" And then they're like, "Go!" And then they're all like, leisurely jog to go start the challenge.
Yeah, and it's always like down to the final seconds.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
like 3,
We
2,
gotta go!
1. Yeah, and they get it, and it's like, no, we know that you finished this challenge 15 minutes ago.
Right.
You're just trying to make it look like it was down to the wire.
Oh, okay.
We love it though. Honestly, we love the Traitors. I'm sad it's over.
Yeah, it sounds like there's another season in the works already based on what they said at the end of the reunion, and I'm excited for that. Shall we move on to the Seriously Award of the Week?
Yes.
I don't have a song for
Please
this.
don't play the song. It's your turn this
Is it?
week. Yeah, remember?
So, with a new dumpy pickup truck,
I don't say it like that. That's mean.
I never said you said it like that. Those are the words that you used.
Yeah.
I traded in the old red sedan.
Which was my car
I just traded in Morgan's
that
childhood car.
I paid out. I mean, it wasn't my childhood car, but
It was like your second car.
Yeah, it was when I graduated college. I got the car. I paid it off. But I told David, I don't want to be involved in any of this. If you want to go buy something, whatever, I'm not going to be involved in any of the drama that comes along with it.
For the record, the car had like 145,000 miles on it. It was 10 years old. It wasn't worth a lot. There's just not much more we can say there. But the car was bought 10 years ago, and you and your dad were on the title.
Yes, because I was just freshly graduated from college.
I know. I'm not arguing
talking
that.
to the YouTube trolls because did you see the comment somebody left us?
No.
They're like, "How broke are you? You had to have your dad co-sign your car." I was like, "Yeah, when I was 21 years old, I was broke, okay?" You little bot.
I didn't realize that we had mentioned that in the last episode. But so I had to get your dad to sign power of attorney to change the title over so that he didn't have to come with us to the BMV. In Ohio, it's the BMV. Everywhere else is the DMV. Don't know why.
No,
I'm pretty sure that's the case.
no, I think that they're two different things.
No, they're not. I mean, I've been Googling this stuff for the last
The
year.
DMV, the Division of Motor Vehicles, and then the BMV is the Bureau.
Exactly. And they're just different in different states. In Ohio, it's a BMV. But if you look on Reddit and stuff, people will refer to the same thing, but it'll be like DMV in California. I'm not joking. That's the truth. The DMV does not exist in parallel to the BMV in Ohio. In Ohio, it's just the BMV. You're thinking of like the county clerk's office where we got the title from. We didn't even go to the BMV. We went to the county clerk office.
I was thinking about the DMV where you go and take your driver's test and you get your picture for your license.
Yeah, so let's go back to the story. Now that Morgan's on the title, she has to come with me to transfer the title of the old car. And I Google the BMV and we go to the BMV and we say, "Hi, we need to get a duplicate title so that we can transfer it." And she says, "You're in the wrong place. This is where you get your driver's license. We don't do titles."
Can we also just say that I was severely ill with the flu?
Yeah, you were struggling.
The day before, I had a temperature of 101.5. Okay? The day before. I woke up the next day. I was feeling a little better. I didn't have a temperature. I was taking, all the meds. But for some reason, it was imperative that we did it that day, that Friday, while I was still I was not feeling the best at all. I was not in my right headspace. I was with you, but I wasn't with you. You know what I mean? I was not there.
I had an opportunity to go during the day where I didn't want to go on a weekend where it would have been super busy. And I figured, let's just go and get this done.
Yeah.
So if we go to the wrong place, they send us to the clerk's office, which is where we had to go for the title. We get there We do all the things, and eventually we got it done. And I had to take you to the dealership to give them the title so that they could sell the car to somebody
He dragged me around
else.
like a dog on a leash while I was recovering from the flu.
You got nothing out of it.
Literally, it was hell on earth. It was the worst day of my life. Like, if I don't ever have to relive a day, it would be that day.
So you think I get the Seriously Award of the Week?
Oh, 100%. The whole entire time that I was walking around doing that with you, I was like, this is how I know I love this man, because I would not do this for anybody else.
That's really nice of you.
You did have an accent problem while you were there too.
Did I?
Yeah, you walked into the title place and you were like, hi, I need a title. Because you knew.
As we were walking in, I said under my breath, I'm just speaking American, just so that you know, because I can't have this. And I was like, hey, can I get a duplicate title?
Yeah. And you know what? It all worked out in the end.
Yeah, it all worked out.
You did get me, actually, oh my gosh. Do you know what I just realized?
Nope.
Do you know what day that actually was on that makes this story 10 times worse?
Your birthday?
No.
I don't remember.
Valentine's Day.
Oh, yeah.
That is how I spent my Valentine's Day, everybody.
I remember saying to you, I got you a duplicate title for your birthday. For Valentine's Day.
Yeah, it was so great. And he was like, we got in the car afterwards and he was like, so do you want crumble cookie? Like, that was just going to make the whole day disappear. And it did. Yes, we did get crumble cookie. And we got Five Guys.
Did, didn't it?
So that was like a good, way to round it out. Came home, we watched Severance. That's a conversation for another day.
Yeah,
we'll have to do a little TV talk every now and then.
Yeah, I think we'll do a season recap when that ends, because we had a lot of questions answered in the last episode, but even more questions came up. I've been working pretty hard on a little landing page for the newsletter. I haven't told you this yet, but instead of weekly newsletter, I figured we should just do monthly.
Okay.
Weekly podcast notification email. Mm-hmm. So subscribe, seriouslyshow.com. And email address, that's all you need.
Are you heading this project up?
I am. This is my project.
Because I don't want to do any of that.
Throughout the month, just take some notes about what went into making episodes this week. That can be like the monthly recap, but every week we'll send a podcast episode notification so that you know when we upload, which is every Tuesday.
Yes. All right. Episode 4 in the book. Here's how you do an outro with no music, Dave. Are you ready?
No, I want to do it so bad.
Let me just show you that it's possible and then you can do it. Okay,
go.
Thank you again for tuning into this episode of Seriously. Hey, if you haven't left a review, what are you doing? Like, we actually need your reviews to thrive.
Can I read one of our reviews?
Oh, sure.
And then we can tell
I think we only have 2.
Yeah, I think we have 2 reviews on Apple Podcasts. So we have a total of 2 whole reviews. Well, we have 10 ratings on Apple. We have like 15 on Spotify. And then 2
friends and family.
2 written reviews on Apple Podcasts. So leave us a review and we'll read one out next week as well. This is from Okola083119. I'm a big fan of more. Should I do an American accent?
No, it sounds better in your accent.
I'm a big fan of Morgan's Pop Talk, so of course I'm loving this new show. The banter is so cute and entertaining. Definitely recommend. And now I have more days with new podcasts to listen to. Great work. ! Thank you so much. It means a lot to us.
Love it. So leave a review like that.
Please.
Yeah, we need it. We're desperate at this point.
Reviews on new shows are like critical. Please help us.
All right, I'm going to go hack up my lungs because I've been holding it in for the past however many minutes, but that's how you end a show without a song. Go ahead.
This is how you end it my way.
They hate this song. He does the same dance every time.
We wouldn't be able to do this if we didn't do the song.
I
hate this song.
I know. It's so bad.
See you next week, everybody. Thanks for tuning in.